Any other questions? Yeah, man, this is, when you lose your last game, the summers and the falls go pretty long, and so we feel like we've coming off a great year, set the bar pretty high in this program, so things have changed a little bit as far as I'm concerned in Mountaineer baseball.
Yeah. With the climate and the things you're dealing with right now, you have to ramp it up a little bit faster, I guess, to get ready when you go down to play Jacksonville.
Yeah, we're just like today. It's in the low 40s, mid 40s, and we're outside. It's important to practice with the sky in the background instead of a roof in the background. So any opportunity we've gotten to come outside, we've done it. And one day outside is the same as 5 days inside as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to go out and play a nice inter-squad today and get our pitchers' pitch counts ready for next weekend.
Have you had a chance to do a lot of sim games?
Yeah, we played a lot,
How are you going to treat your arms next weekend? Obviously that's a work in progress there.
Yeah, it's we're going to go slow with them. We're going to be on about a 75 pitch limit opening weekend. A lot of people don't do that, but we do that. I think that's helped us later in the year. We've always played pretty well in the conference tournament because we try and go a little easy on our guys early in the year. So I think they're ready this time of the year. They're excited to play a different team other than playing against your own team. So that first weekend you're planning on using 10 to 12 guys.
Other than Grove, all your injured guys are good to go, right?
Yeah, it appears to be. They all get bumps and bruises this time of the year that you got to take care of. But Connor Dotson is throwing really well right now, and coming off his injury, that's super encouraging. And everybody else seems to be feeling pretty good.
After looking at that, what happened in that bullpen, do you think he'd make it back this quick? I mean, that's pretty impressive.
I've learned a lot about bones in the last 9 months, and apparently they heal faster than ligaments and muscles. So, I was kind of surprised that his recovery was as quick as it really was. But he's throwing as good right now as anybody we have on the team.
I know strategy and the things that you're doing is based on your personnel. I mean, when you look at the personnel you've got, is this looking like a team that's going to be athletic and speed, power, pitching? What do you see size up with what you got right now?
I think we've got a pretty complete team. I think we got some guys that can run the ball out of the yard if they need to, but we're faster than we were last year. We have more depth on the mounds. We just need somebody to step up and win 10 games. If you're going to have a great season, somebody's got to be that guy. And we have some guys that are capable. We just don't know who they are yet. Who's going to be the one to do that. But if we're going to have a great year, you have to have those type of guys. So it's wide open for these guys. We've got a new pitching coach in here, and they all started from ground zero with him, and it's been good to get an outsider's perspective that doesn't have any background on any of these guys and just see who the best pitcher is.
What do you like he's doing with them right now?
I think they're buying into what he's teaching, so I think he's got their attention, whether that be his background or his pedigree or the fact that he's won national championships and been on Team USA. You kind of get instant buy-in even before you meet him, So I think they're buying into the success that he's had and his ability to. I think he's coached 34 pitchers that have gone on to pitch in the big leagues. So how can you not buy in? If you don't, that's your fault. It's not his.
And you told him it's sunny and 70 here in January, right?
Same thing we tell everybody.
Has anybody jumped up and kind of planted their flag for the third base spot, or is that still in play?
You're probably going to see 2 or 3 different guys over there over the course of the first month of the season. So, Ivan can always go out there when he's not catching and play a pretty good third base for us, and that gets Chase Illigan to line up probably when that happens, or Punch catches. And we got a new guy, Tyler Dones, that might see some action over there. So the lineup at the beginning of the year is never the same as it is at the end. So who's gonna end up there is the big question. So get a lot of games under their belt for these guys to win that spot.
All three of you all mentioned Tyler Dones. What's he doing to stand out at this point?
He's just a gamer. He's just a baseball player. His tools don't jump off the chart at you, but I think he's going to be a really good hitter. think he's going to be a good defender. He can play multiple infield positions. He can run. He's got some juice in his bat, but he's a baseball player. That's what we're fortunate now in our program. We can be a little pickier about who we recruit, and we just want baseball players. The tools guys that are the high draft picks a lot of times don't win as many games as the grinders. So he's been a real grinder for us.
I know an oddity last year was the lack of left-handers on the mound. You fixed that this year. You've got more capable.
If we throw one inning, we've got more. So we didn't throw one pitch from the left side last year. So yeah, we've got some guys to choose from. But just because they're left-handed doesn't mean they're going to pitch. They have to be good left-handers. So guys are still fighting for innings every day we go out there, and there's still jobs open as we go into this inter squad today. So, but it would be nice if some lefties would really step up and take the bull by the horn, so to speak.
Well, that kind of hamstrung you strategy-wise deep in games when you didn't have that left-hander to bring out there to get one guy out, or
it hamstrings you, but it actually made my job easier. Couldn't play the matchup game.
Right.
So,
right.
A lot of times you bring a lefty in to face a lefty, and you take a guy out that was pitching pretty good to do it. So we didn't. That wasn't even a thought that entered my mind. It's like, coaching in the National League without a DH, you don't have to worry about it. So, but yeah, this year we're going to have to. We may have to play that game a little bit. So that's one of the roles we're trying to fill right now.
You mentioned speed and the ability to steal bases. Will that affect the way your hitters approach things, maybe having to take a few more pitches to get those guys where you need to get them?
Yeah, I think so. It's letting guys steal bases, but at the same time, if the guy on base is disturbing the pitcher and making him pitch differently, you get a lot better pitches to hit too. So even if we don't steal more bases, I think we can create the impression that we're going to play that way and get a lot better pitches to hit. So we might have a game where we don't steal any bases, but the fact that we can run a little bit really helped us win the game.
Is the back of the bullpen a little bit more solidified this year? It seemed like last year whoever was pitching real well was getting those tight late inning situations.
Yeah, we got Zarb back there who had 6 saves last year, but he also had 6 wins. So we're toying with the idea of making him a starter. Got Sam Kessler that had a great year pitching out of the bullpen. And B.J. Myers has been a starter and a reliever in his career. Connor Dotson the same way. So we'll just see how it shakes out. It's early and pitch counts aren't very high yet, but a lot of guys are going to get opportunities to finish games. The guy that takes more pride in that role is going to end up being that guy.
On the other side of that, does that mean the Tuesday games, those midweek games, once you get into the regular flow of the season, can become kind of almost an audition spot for a guy to really see if he's a starter or not a starter?
Yeah, that was we're unlucky and lucky up here in West Virginia in the fact that we don't get to play midweek games until the 4th week, So we don't have to make that decision that early, so everybody gets their chances to pitch on the weekends. And we'll be able to figure out who's going to slide into that role based on how they pitch the first 3 weekends. So we've got some time to make that decision, but that's an important deal, man. You gotta those midweek games. We beat Pitt twice last year. We beat Marshall twice last year. I think we beat Maryland, if I'm not mistaken, but beat Virginia Tech in the midweek, and that swung our season. We've always played pretty well in the conference, but winning those midweek games is a big deal. So that midweek starter needs to be a good guy.
On the flip side, cost you a bid 2 years ago, probably.
There's no question. No question. We lost those 2 games. We lost to Canisius. Probably cost us 20 RPI points, and that was the difference, probably.
These games early, I think the formula is still in play where the climate teams that go down south get more bonus points for winning series. So you got to be ready to go right away.
I think that helps us. Coaches are always trying to figure out how to finagle your schedule to benefit yourself RPI-wise. I think I got this thing pretty close to figured out, You got to play your first 20 on the road.
Right.
You get more points for winning games on the road on top of the fact that it toughens your team up, As long as you can avoid the fatigue that comes along with it, and I think we did that last year, then that really benefits us. And to try and play at home here at the end of February or first week of March, you're just asking for trouble. You
Yeah.
know, I love college baseball, but I'm not going to go to a game when it's 32 degrees and spitting rain. You know,
Right.
why would anybody else?
Right.
So there's no advantage in playing here that time of the year. So we'll go and we'll take our lumps on the road and learn how to do it and learn how to win on the road. And when we get in conference, get in the postseason conference tournament, you have to win on the road. So we get a lot more practice at it than most people do.
How do you prepare these young kids for the travel you go through? I mean, you're probably the only one of a Power 5 school that's got a time zone change when you guys go. Now, your older kids know that, but how do you get those younger kids prepared for this?
You know, it's hard because when we come home from a conference weekend, our kids are getting to bed at 3 or 4 a.m. That doesn't affect you on the weekends, but that's where the midweek games, you know, you get to bed at 3 or 4 a.m. on Monday morning, make them go to class on Monday, and on Tuesday you're writing 9 zombies in a lineup, you know, so to speak. So we try and do things to correct that. You know, we've invested in fatigue science of all things to try and get our kids to sleep more, and we'll give them off some practice time in order to keep their legs under them. So 2 years ago, that's what cost us a regional. Last year, I think we figured that out.
Yeah, and it's nice to have older kids that have dealt with it and understand it, take care of themselves.
Yeah, experience is the best teacher, you know, and when the young guys get sped up a little bit, that's what the old guys are for, is to teach them how this thing rolls. So, and we've got a lot of experience on this team, so I think that'll help us win games.
Last one I got here. Is this team, personnel-wise, does it match the way you want to play? Is this what you've got?
Yeah, I love this team. We got speed at the top and the bottom. We got guys in the middle that can run the ball out of the yard, and we can do some different things and play an up-tempo game. We're going to win some games that way. We're going to win some games by slugging the ball. We're going to win some games by pitching. We're going to win some games by defense. I don't think we're a one-dimensional team by any stretch of the imagination. So it's nice to know you have a team that's capable of winning in different ways.
A lot of options.
A lot of options.
With that kind of versatility, does that mean more small ball than we saw last year? Maybe the same amount. I mean, you used a lot of it last year.
I don't know that I don't know that we recorded how much small ball we used, but it's just what you do at the time, what you're feeling at the time. You know, you got Zarb in there that can lay a bunt down or hit and run at any time, and Kyle Gray is a great bunter, and Jimmy Galuski's a great bunter, and if the situation calls for it, you know, we'll play that way, and we're very capable of doing that. So it's nice to have that luxury of different guys with the ability to do different things.
As far as Grove, what kind of activities is he participating in, and kind of what's next for him on his recovery?
Yes, Michael Grove's one of the best leaders on the team, and that's hard to do when you're not out there pitching once a weekend. You know, it's easy to be a leader when you're throwing no-hitters and no-touchers, as Domingo Ayala called it at our banquet. He threw 3 no-touchers in his career, where the other team doesn't even touch the ball. So, but Grove still shows great leadership skills, and he'll be in the dugout with us every game. He's right on pace with his rehab, so it's fun to watch him go through every day.
Can you talk about Trey Lowe a little bit? What was that recruiting process like, and what do you think he's going to bring to the team?
It's too early to tell. He's only been here for a week or two, you know, but yeah, he's an unbelievable kid. Very respectful, very athletic. He wins the national anthem battle, as we like to say, when people look down there and see him standing there. He's a tremendous looking athlete and looks great in the uniform, and I think over time he's got a chance to be a good player, you know, but you know, that's an evaluation of watching him play 3 inter-squad games, but he hasn't stepped in here and been overmatched by any stretch of the imagination, which is to step into the situation he stepped in after the rest of the team had gone through fall practice, and he didn't. Kudos to him for that.